Simple present. She walks to school every morning. She walks to school every morning. He eats breakfast at 7 a.m. He eats breakfast at 7 a.m. They play soccer on Saturdays. They play soccer on Saturdays. The sun rises in the east. The sun rises in the east. It rains often in this region. It rains often in this region. The cat sleeps on the sofa. The cat sleeps on the sofa. He teaches English at the local school. He teaches English at the local school. I always brush my teeth before bed. I always brush my teeth before bed. Dogs bark when they're excited. Dogs bark when they're excited. The train arrives at 9 o'clock. The train arrives at 9 o'clock. She loves to read books. She loves to read books. He works in an office downtown. He works in an office downtown. The earth revolves around the sun. The earth revolves around the sun. Birds chirp in the morning. Birds chirp in the morning. We study history on Mondays. We study history on Mondays. Present continuous. She is dancing in the living room. She is dancing in the living room. They are playing football outside. They are playing football outside. He is studying for his exams right now. He is studying for his exams right now. It is raining heavily at the moment. It is raining heavily at the moment. The kids are laughing loudly. The kids are laughing loudly. We are cooking dinner for tonight. We are cooking dinner for tonight. The dog is chasing its tail in the yard. The dog is chasing its tail in the yard. I am typing on my laptop. I am typing on my laptop. She is talking on the phone with her friend. She is talking on the phone with her friend. They are painting the walls of the house. They are painting the walls of the house. The baby is sleeping peacefully. The baby is sleeping peacefully. He is jogging in the park. He is jogging in the park. The workers are building a new skyscraper. The workers are building a new skyscraper. We are watching a movie together. We are watching a movie together. The chef is preparing a special dish. The chef is preparing a special dish. Present perfect. She has visited Paris 3 times. She has visited Paris 3 times. He has just finished his homework. He has just finished his homework. They have eaten sushi before. They have eaten sushi before. I have never traveled to Asia. I have never traveled to Asia. She has lived in the city for 10 years. She has lived in the city for 10 years. He has already read that book. He has already read that book. We have seen that movie multiple times. We have seen that movie multiple times. They have not met each other yet. They have not met each other yet. She has learned to play the piano. She has learned to play the piano. He has experienced skydiving once. He has experienced skydiving once. I have visited 5 countries this year. I have visited 5 countries this year. They have cooked dinner for us occasionally. They have cooked dinner for us occasionally. She has received an award for her performance. She has received an award for her performance. We have had this car since last summer. We have had this car since last summer. He has not finished his project yet. He has not finished his project yet. Present perfect continuous. She has been studying for her exams all week. She has been studying for her exams all week. He has been working on that project since last month. He has been working on that project since last month. They have been waiting for the bus for over an hour. They have been waiting for the bus for over an hour. I have been learning Spanish for 6 months. I have been learning Spanish for 6 months. She has been playing the guitar for 2 hours straight. She has been playing the guitar for 2 hours straight. He has been jogging in the park every morning. He has been jogging in the park every morning. They have been renovating their house for weeks. They have been renovating their house for weeks. I have been practicing yoga regularly. I have been practicing yoga regularly. She has been writing a novel for a year now. She has been writing a novel for a year now. He has been working at the company for a decade. He has been working at the company for a decade. They have been discussing the issue for quite some time. They have been discussing the issue for quite some time. I have been teaching English since I graduated. I have been teaching English since I graduated. She has been volunteering at the shelter every weekend. She has been volunteering at the shelter every weekend. He has been gardening in his backyard lately. He has been gardening in his backyard lately. They have been cooking dinner together for the past hour. They have been cooking dinner together for the past hour. Simple past. She visited her grandmother yesterday. She visited her grandmother yesterday. He finished his homework last night. He finished his homework last night. They played basketball after school. They played basketball after school. I traveled to Europe last summer. I traveled to Europe last summer. She danced at the party on Saturday. She danced at the party on Saturday. He studied for his exams all week. He studied for his exams all week. We watched a movie yesterday evening. We watched a movie yesterday evening. They visited the museum last weekend. They visited the museum last weekend. She cooked dinner for her family yesterday. She cooked dinner for her family yesterday. He fixed the car on Sunday. He fixed the car on Sunday. I walked in the park this morning. I walked in the park this morning. They cleaned the house yesterday. They cleaned the house yesterday. She read a book last night. She read a book last night. He visited his friend yesterday afternoon. He visited his friend yesterday afternoon. We went shopping last Saturday. We went shopping last Saturday. Past continuous. She was studying when the phone rang. She was studying when the phone rang. They were playing football when it started raining. They were playing football when it started raining. He was reading a book while waiting for the bus. He was reading a book while waiting for the bus. I was cooking dinner at 7 p.m. yesterday. I was cooking dinner at 7 p.m. yesterday. She was dancing when I entered the room. She was dancing when I entered the room. They were walking in the park when they saw a deer. They were walking in the park when they saw a deer. He was talking on the phone while driving. He was talking on the phone while driving. I was writing an email when the power went out. I was writing an email when the power went out. She was sleeping when the alarm clock went off. She was sleeping when the alarm clock went off. They were laughing at the joke you told. They were laughing at the joke you told. He was running late for his appointment. He was running late for his appointment. She was painting a picture when her friend called. She was painting a picture when her friend called. They were discussing their travel plans. They were discussing their travel plans. He was fixing the car in the garage. He was fixing the car in the garage. I was watching TV while doing my laundry. I was watching TV while doing my laundry. Past perfect. She had finished her work before the meeting started. She had finished her work before the meeting started. They had already eaten dinner when we arrived. They had already eaten dinner when we arrived. He had studied French before he moved to Paris. He had studied French before he moved to Paris. I had read the book before I watched the movie adaptation. I had read the book before I watched the movie adaptation. She had completed the project by the time the deadline approached. She had completed the project by the time the deadline approached. They had left for the airport before I called them. They had left for the airport before I called them. He had already taken the exam when I arrived at the school. He had already taken the exam when I arrived at the school. I had visited the museum before it closed for renovations. I had visited the museum before it closed for renovations. She had finished her coffee before the meal was served. She had finished her coffee before the meal was served. They had played in the park before it started raining. They had played in the park before it started raining. He had fixed the leaky faucet before it caused more damage. He had fixed the leaky faucet before it caused more damage. She had written the report before the boss asked for it. She had written the report before the boss asked for it. They had cooked dinner before the guests arrived. They had cooked dinner before the guests arrived. I had booked the tickets before the show sold out. I had booked the tickets before the show sold out. She had checked her email before the meeting began. Past perfect continuous. She had been studying for 3 hours before she took a break. She had been studying for 3 hours before she took a break. They had been waiting for the bus for half an hour before it finally arrived. They had been waiting for the bus for half an hour before it finally arrived. He had been practicing the piano for years before he performed in public. He had been practicing the piano for years before he performed in public. I had been working on the project for weeks before I presented it. I had been working on the project for weeks before I presented it. She had been jogging every morning before she injured her knee. She had been jogging every morning before she injured her knee. They had been discussing the issue for hours before reaching a conclusion. They had been discussing the issue for hours before reaching a conclusion. He had been living in the city for 10 years before he moved to the countryside. He had been living in the city for 10 years before he moved to the countryside. I had been learning French for 6 months before I traveled to Paris. I had been learning French for 6 months before I traveled to Paris. She had been volunteering at the shelter for a year before she became the coordinator. She had been volunteering at the shelter for a year before she became the coordinator. They had been renovating their house for months before they decided to sell it. They had been renovating their house for months before they decided to sell it. He had been searching for his keys for an hour before he found them. He had been searching for his keys for an hour before he found them. She had been teaching at the university for years before she retired. She had been teaching at the university for years before she retired. They had been saving money for a vacation before they finally went. They had been saving money for a vacation before they finally went. I had been writing my novel for months before I completed the first draft. I had been writing my novel for months before I completed the first draft. She had been practicing yoga daily before she felt more flexible. She had been practicing yoga daily before she felt more flexible. Simple future. She will visit her parents next weekend. She will visit her parents next weekend. They will go to the beach tomorrow. They will go to the beach tomorrow. He will finish his assignment by Friday. He will finish his assignment by Friday. I will attend the conference next month. I will attend the conference next month. She will buy a new car next year. She will buy a new car next year. They will start their new job in January. They will start their new job in January. He will cook dinner for us tonight. He will cook dinner for us tonight. I will call you later this evening. I will call you later this evening. She will learn to play the guitar in the summer. She will learn to play the guitar in the summer. They will travel to Europe next spring. They will travel to Europe next spring. He will join the gym next week. He will join the gym next week. She will complete the project by the end of the month. She will complete the project by the end of the month. They will host a party on Saturday. They will host a party on Saturday. I will send you the report tomorrow. I will send you the report tomorrow. She will start her own business next year. She will start her own business next year. Future continuous. She will be studying at this time tomorrow. She will be studying at this time tomorrow. They will be playing tennis in the afternoon. They will be playing tennis in the afternoon. He will be cooking dinner at 7 p.m. tomorrow. He will be cooking dinner at 7 p.m. tomorrow. I will be attending a meeting at this hour next week. I will be attending a meeting at this hour next week. She will be working on the project all day. She will be working on the project all day. They will be traveling to Paris this time next month. They will be traveling to Paris this time next month. He will be giving a presentation tomorrow morning. He will be giving a presentation tomorrow morning. I will be waiting for you at the cafe. I will be waiting for you at the cafe. She will be playing the piano at 5 o'clock. She will be playing the piano at 5 o'clock. They will be discussing the plans during the meeting. They will be discussing the plans during the meeting. He will be jogging in the park at 6 a.m. He will be jogging in the park at 6 a.m. She will be taking her exam at this time next Friday. She will be taking her exam at this time next Friday. They will be renovating their house next weekend. They will be renovating their house next weekend. I will be gardening in the backyard in the evening. I will be gardening in the backyard in the evening. She will be singing at the concert tomorrow evening. She will be singing at the concert tomorrow evening. Future perfect. She will have finished her homework by the time you arrive. She will have finished her homework by the time you arrive. They will have completed the project by the end of the month. They will have completed the project by the end of the month. He will have lived in the city for 10 years by next summer. He will have lived in this city for 10 years by next summer. I will have read the book before the movie releases. I will have read the book before the movie releases. She will have cooked dinner by the time the guests arrive. She will have cooked dinner by the time the guests arrive. They will have traveled to 5 countries by the end of the year. They will have traveled to 5 countries by the end of the year. He will have learned to play the guitar by his birthday. He will have learned to play the guitar by his birthday. I will have finished my work before the deadline. I will have finished my work before the deadline. She will have written 10 pages of her novel by tomorrow. She will have written 10 pages of her novel by tomorrow. They will have saved enough money to buy a house by next spring. They will have saved enough money to buy a house by next spring. He will have graduated from university by the time she starts her job. He will have graduated from university by the time she starts her job. She will have completed her marathon training by the race day. She will have completed her marathon training by the race day. They will have decorated the house before the party. They will have decorated the house before the party. I will have packed my bags before the trip. I will have packed my bags before the trip. She will have practiced yoga for a year by next month. She will have practiced yoga for a year by next month. Future perfect continuous. She will have been studying for 6 hours by the time the exam begins. They will have been working on the project for a month by next Friday. They will have been working on the project for a month by next Friday. He will have been living in the city for 10 years by the end of the year. He will have been living in this city for 10 years by the end of the year. I will have been learning French for 2 years by next summer. I will have been learning French for 2 years by next summer. She will have been practicing the piano for several hours by the time the concert begins. She will have been practicing the piano for several hours by the time the concert begins. They will have been renovating the house for weeks by the housewarming party. They will have been renovating the house for weeks by the housewarming party. He will have been traveling for a month by the time he returns. He will have been traveling for a month by the time he returns. I will have been working at this company for a decade by next January. I will have been working at this company for a decade by next January. She will have been volunteering at the shelter for a year by her anniversary. She will have been volunteering at the shelter for a year by her anniversary. They will have been saving money for their trip for 6 months by the departure date. They will have been saving money for their trip for 6 months by the departure date. He will have been waiting for hours by the time the bus arrives. He will have been waiting for hours by the time the bus arrives. She will have been teaching English for 5 years by the end of this term. She will have been teaching English for 5 years by the end of this term. They will have been planning their wedding for a year by the ceremony. They will have been planning their wedding for a year by the ceremony. I will have been writing my thesis for a year by the defense date. I will have been writing my thesis for a year by the defense date. She will have been practicing yoga daily for months by the yoga retreat. Will have been practicing yoga daily for months by the yoga retreats. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe for more similar content in the future. Thank you for your support.